Hi there. Today I'm going to showcase Hedera Smart Contract Service features that were currently pushed out to version 0.4.1 for Hedera Wallet Snap. So I already have a local snap running here, and I'm just using the main branch. But let me just go ahead and start this up. So first I'm going to connect. Alright, it's going to try to connect, and it has been installed. Alright, now what I'm going to show you is we have all these features already, but I'm not going to focus on those. I'm just going to focus on the Hedera Wallet Snap, Hedera Smart Contract Services. So the first one on this list is Create Smart Contract right here. So we can pass in, obviously there's a lot more parameters we can pass in, but as far as this example, I'm just the two required parameters are the amount of gas to use and then the bytecode of the smart contract. So there's no need to upload your smart contract to Hedera file service, and all of that is taken care of automatically in the background by the Create Smart Contract Snap API. So the only thing that you need to pass in is the amount of gas to use for the transaction, and for the smart contract bytecode. So we're going to be using this particular smart contract. I already have the bytecode copied, so you can actually this is remix.ethereum.org. You can basically try to get the bytecode by clicking on bytecode right here on Remix. But it's a very simple smart contract. It has a function to set the mobile number, to get the mobile number basically, and as part of the constructor we need to pass in the name and the mobile number to start with. So let me go ahead and paste in the bytecode for the admin. So we can make it, we can have an admin key here by putting our own public key, which means that we'll be able to update the smart contract and delete the smart contract and do all sorts of things, because it would be controlled with the public key. So I'm just going to use that here because I'm going to be demoing other features of smart contract services like updating and so on. So let me just go ahead and do this. Usually on production you probably maybe don't want the admin public key because you want it to be completely decentralized, but for this test case I'm just going to do it. Alright, so I can pass in the parameters by adding a constructor parameter. So the first one is name. So all I need to do is type in a name for that. So here I'm going to put in Kieran. It does take two parameters, name and the mobile number, so we need to pass in another parameter here. This is an uint value. So for the phone number I'm just going to do like 11111 and go ahead and click on smart contract, create smart contract. It's going to show everything here that you're trying to do with the max amount of gas to use, 8 million. Bytecode length is, it's almost 3 megabytes. 3 kilobytes. And then the admin key is this, the constructor parameters is these, so on and so forth. Alright, let's go ahead and create this smart contract here. So it'll take a while. So it's basically interacting with the Hedera SDK directly to deploy the smart contract. So all of that is available as part of the Snap capability. So here's the contract ID. So let's go ahead and look up our contract ID right here. This was just deployed right now. Alright, so what can we do with it? So there's a couple of things here. So here, let's go ahead and try to update this one contract. Now, I would not be able to execute this if I had not passed in the admin key when creating the smart contract. But I can do a lot of things like change certain parameters. Like here, I could even assign a new admin if I wanted to, or I can add a new contract memo. So let's just go ahead and add a memo. Right now, as you can see, there is no memo. From what I can see, there is no memo. So let's go ahead and update that. Added new memo. Alright, let's go ahead and update this smart contract. So this is calling the update smart contract API. So it basically shows you what is being updated, the contract ID, the contract memo, and then you hit execute. Once that is done, now it was successful, so let's go ahead and refresh this page. Now it will show that our smart contract was updated with added new memo for the memo. Alright, that's all we do. We can do a lot more things. Feel free to check out the documentation for that, but that's the basic gist of it. I'm going to come back to this delete smart contract at the end so that we call this after we're done interacting with the contract. Alright, so first let's go ahead and call a smart contract function. So what functions do we have? We have two functions here, set mobile number and get mobile number. Usually if you just want to retrieve some, call a read-only function that doesn't really change the state, then you probably want to use the get smart contract function, because what this does is it only queries one specific node and then calls the function and then returns the result. You can also do that using this, but it's basically you have to pay more fees probably, because this what it does is it calls the smart contract on chain and then tries to basically retrieve that. So anyways, so first let's just use set mobile number here so that we can check we can change the value. So let's just call set mobile number. So that's the set mobile number, contract ID is this, amount of gas to use, okay. Now for the set, we can pass in name and mobile number. So we currently have our own name, so Kiran was the name. Now I'm going to change this to something else, like 55555. And if I were to call smart contract function, it basically tells me everything that is being done here. Set mobile number, function parameters, max gas to use, and the contract ID. Let's go ahead and approve it. This does call the function on chain because it is changing the state. So if I refresh this page, you can see here this transaction was just executed. Now if I were to click on that, it gives me more details, I guess, what was done here. So right here it says contract states accessed and changed, blah blah blah, value written, value read, all these things you can check out over there. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to call this get smart contract function right here. So according to our contract, we should pass in the name. So let me go ahead and pass in my name right here, and then call the function. So what this is going to do is it's going to call the function called get mobile number of this contract ID with the parameters Kiran. So let's go ahead and approve, and this is what we get. So we get the contract ID, the bytes that are returned, the bloom, gas used, error messages if there are any, and blah blah blah. So it means this was successfully called. These are the bytes. So anyways, we can actually get this call this function API called get smart contract bytecode, where you just enter in the contract ID and then it retrieves the bytecode of that particular contract ID right here. This is the bytecode, and then you can also retrieve the smart contract information, like a lot of interesting details about the smart contract. For instance, contract ID, account ID, what's the admin key, storage, contract memo, like all these things you can retrieve that pretty easily. Alright, we're going to delete this smart contract. So it looks like we have 100 HBAR here, so let's go ahead and try to transfer these to another account. So this is going to be our account ID to transfer all the balance. So let's go ahead and do that, delete, and then approve. And there you go. So that one is done successfully. So with that, I believe we have interacted with all of the APIs that are available with the smart contract service. Hope that was helpful. Have a good day.